Be honest with me. Would you pay 30 grand for a Star Wars helmet? What if I told you I'd throw in this crossover right behind me with it for free? Would you reconsider? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Greg Kavanaugh. This is my amateur car review channel, Gallup Journey Test Drives, and with me I have the 2017 Nissan Rogue One Star Wars Rogue. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about it, so stick around and I'll see if I can convince you. So let's be honest here, I don't really consider myself a Star Wars buff. And given that I'm driving the Rogue One Rogue, I thought I better bring in a resident expert. So in order to do that, I have brought in my friend Patrick. And right now, Patrick, I want you to give both the Star Wars fans that happen to be watching this your 45-second version of your nerd cred. Go.
Geek cred. So my name's Patrick. I've been a Star Wars fan since I can remember. Watched the original series trilogy more times than I can count. Was first in line at all of the premieres when I was old enough, including at the Man Chinese Theater for Episode 2. Read all of the extended universe, and to top it all off, I regularly wear articles of clothing that are Star Wars. Today I'm wearing my Stormtrooper socks. Tomorrow I might be wearing my R2-D2 underwear. But I consider the high point of my life was when I bought all of my groomsmen Jedi robes embroidered with their name, and I had them escort my wife into our reception with lightsabers. She loved that.
So yeah, the high point, let's be clear, was not necessarily getting married, but the apparel at said ceremony.
Yeah, it was the best wedding ever for various reasons, which I will not go into any further.
Very good. So I think we've established some credibility. Let's talk about the Rogue One Rogue. So, Patrick, if you will, can you give the audience a little bit? Those of us who didn't even know there were two Death Stars, for instance,
I'm so disappointed in you.
Maybe you can give us a little quick history of the importance of the idea of this term rogue.
Right. So, Rogue One is the latest Star Wars movie. It's more of a side story from the main stories, and it's all about the group that gets together and ends up stealing the plans for the first Death Star. The name Rogue is important because Luke Skywalker, after they blew up the first Death Star, establishes Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron relocates the Rebel Alliance to Hoth. They blow up the second Death Star, and there's a long series of Star Wars novels in the expanded universe that called Rogue Squadron that really follow them, Wedge Antilles, and other members of the Rogue Squadron, and they're considered some of the best Star Wars novels out there.
So could it be fair to say that if you are a Star Wars buff, to drive around in a vehicle with Rogue on it kind of pays an homage to real important parts of the canon, if you will?
Yeah, so as a personal anecdote, whenever Gmail was started like 12 years ago, I signed up the first day that I could for Gmail. I got an invite from my friend. I wanted Rogue One. Rogue One was taken, and it wasn't until I got to Rogue 21 that it wasn't taken. So already there was 20 Star Wars nerds ahead of me that had taken Rogue 1 through 20 on the first day Gmail came out.
Fair enough. So I think it's fair to say that each dealership in the U.S. has 4 of these Rogue One Rogues. I think they're going to sell them. Would you probably agree?
I didn't know there was that few of them. Now I am going to buy one of these cars.
All right. Well, let's keep moving forward here. So I just ran Patrick here through all the features that make the Rogue One Rogue, the Rogue One edition. Let me tell you guys a little bit about them. First of all, on the front end, you get distinct headlights. These are LED. I have to admit, they look really rad at night. You get blacked out trim on the front fascia. And then you also get on the side, you get black rails on the top for the roof. You get black handles and trim on the mirrors, as well as black cladding down below, which becomes really distinct when you buy the white one. It really gives you that Stormtrooper vibe. This is more the Death Trooper, as I understand it. And then you also get, of course, some decals on the D-pillars. On either side, you get one for the Empire and one for the Rebels. And then on the way back, when you're opening up the hatch, there's also a Star Wars decal there. And then on the inside, and you get, of course, the badge on the side, the Rogue One badge. And then as you open it up on the threshold, so to speak, for getting into the car, it lights up. It says Star Wars instead of Rogue on the normal Nissan. You get a flat bottom steering wheel. And then not necessarily related to the movies, you get a giant panoramic moonroof as well as an upgraded Bose stereo. So that kind of is the gist, of what makes the Rogue One the Rogue One. So I guess my question is, Patrick, basically comes out to about $4,000, and it slots you just below the top tier SL Rogue. So for a Star Wars buff, do you see value in something like this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think if I was in the market for a new car, I would be purchasing one of these right now. You know, I'm at a point in my life where I can't go around every day wearing Star Wars stuff explicitly.
Like R2D2
like my
t-shirts.
R2D2 shirt. But that doesn't mean I don't love Star Wars and this isn't a part of my life. And so I love this, that I could take this to work, feel classy, and then on the weekend I could take it to Comic-Con.
And do you think rolling up to Comic-Con in this would give you any kind of bonus points?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think it depends, like what you're cosplaying as. I mean, if I rolled up as Darth Vader and I had 4 stormtroopers in the back seat, you know, I think I'd have major cred. But even just rolling up in this, I think, yeah, you'd be the center point. People would be wanting to check it out. They'd be asking how they could get their own.
And I would argue too, folks, that I think the Nissan didn't go over the top with this, where it's going to play theme songs as you walk up, or it's got just an emblazoned helmet, you know, along the hood. So much so that a father of 3 couldn't get away with convincing his wife that it's still a reasonable vehicle. It's a good-looking, sporty, modern-looking crossover that I think many people could buy even without being a Star Wars buff. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's got the sleek lines. It's got a lot of fun. I mean, I do wish there was a little more Star Wars, like on the inside. I do wish it played the theme song or had some more like videos or something going with it. But I think overall, this is a great car, and I'd love to own one.
So the thing I forgot to mention when it comes to value that Patrick didn't know about is when you buy this car, Nissan will send you a Death Trooper helmet, which
like a full-size Death Trooper helmet.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's wearable.
I'm in.
So the dealership told me it's worth $1,500.
I was gonna say that alone is the price of admission.
So a $4,000 package that you're getting $1,500 back when you throw that thing on eBay. What do you think?
I'm not gonna throw it on eBay. I'm gonna wear it to Comic-Con. We just talked about going to Comic-Con. Put my Death Trooper helmet on. Wear it to Comic-Con.
I mean, if you can wear it while you drive it, I guess why not?
I don't see why they're not street legal.
Fair enough.
And if they aren't, they should be.
Excellent. Well, I thank Patrick for giving me a perspective that I don't know that I would necessarily have, and I'm looking forward to your comments out there to give me an idea of where you sit with the Rogue One Rogue. So I appreciate you. Thanks for your time.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Greg.
Well, the weather has started to turn here in New Mexico. It's getting cold as I was finishing up shooting the Rogue here. So I'm going to go get in the car. But if you would like to see my impressions of the Nissan Rogue more as a crossover and less of its Star Wars-ness, click here to see the rest of the video and see, you know, I'll talk about its practicality, functionality, driving impressions, and those types of things. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you over there. Cheers.